Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in the world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayer's Live, page by page Bible reading, audio only edition. I'm your hostess, Alexandra. So tonight we are going to get into Genesis chapter 8. The flood recedes. That's what we will be talking about. And as I was saying yesterday, one of my favorite sections of the Bible is Genesis when the flood occurs, because just the anger of God, the frustration of God, it's it's strangely relatable to me, and I think to many of you as well. So God managed to get Noah and his family on the ark. So tonight's live reading will have to do with the flood finally coming to an end after it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and the flood, I believe, lasted for 150 days, which is a pretty long time. God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the livestock that were with him in the ark. So God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the water receded. Also, the fountains of the deep and the floodgates of heaven were closed, and the rain from the heavens was restrained. The water receded steadily from the earth, and after the end of 150 days, the water decreased. So it is kind of interesting to think about where the water would have gone or where it would have receded to. But, then again, we're talking about a spiritual based event, a miracle, essentially. So I suppose we shouldn't question. The ark rested in the seventh month, on the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat. The water continually decreased until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains became visible. And these are some interesting dates. It's kind of, you would think that we would have holidays on these dates. Let's see. The seventh month on the 17th day, so that would be July 17th and October 1st. Seems like we should have some religious holidays on those days. Maybe some religions do. Then at the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark, which he had made, and he sent forth a raven, which went to and fro until the waters were dried up on the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the waters had subsided from the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot. So she returned to him into the ark, for the waters were on the surface of the earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and brought her into the ark himself. He waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent out the dove from the ark. The dove came to him in the evening, and in her mouth there was a freshly plucked olive leaf. So Noah knew the waters had receded from the earth. He waited another 7 days and sent out the dove again, but it did not return to him again. So in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked and saw the surface of the ground was dry. In the second month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, "Go out of the ark, you and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds and animals, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, so that they may breed abundantly on the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply on the earth." So Noah and his sons, and his wife and his sons' wives went out. Every beast, every creeping thing, every bird, and everything that moves on the earth, according to their families, went out of the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord and took of every clean animal and of every clean bird and offered burnt offerings on the altar. The Lord smelled a soothing aroma, and the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground because of man, for the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night will not cease. So at the end, it does sound as though God was thinking, wow, I did do quite a bit by starting, having to completely vanquish humanity and start fresh with Noah and his family. But, maybe it just had to be done. Maybe it had to be done. And really, the concern has to do with the Nephilim, because you have to remember back in, where was it? Genesis 7? Was it Genesis 7 that, or was it Genesis 6? No, it was Genesis 6, man's wickedness, where we learned that the Nephilim were in those days, were on earth in those days, and also after that. So those Nephilim, they still could be problematic later. And it's possible that they are problematic to this day. Now, on the last page by page reading of the Bible over here on Alexandra Mayer's Live, I did mention that there was something in regards to the hands that I thought people, Christians especially, should take note of when it comes to descendants of Noah versus descendants, Noah and Adam versus, I can't even talk, descendants of other beings. And a lot of it having to do with the skin between the fingers, the digits, the webbing. So be cautious if you come across somebody who has extensive webbing between their fingers, because it's possibly that they're a descendant of Nephilim opposed to a descendant of Adam. Just something to think about. But I have a link to information on that on the last stream in the description. You might want to check that out. Every once in a while, little interesting tidbits I've learned over the years when it comes to what many might think of as forbidden knowledge, I will bestow upon you. They'll be like the little Easter eggs in this series. So tomorrow, we'll get into Genesis 9. That's what we'll get into. And probably Genesis 10 as well. Okay? Have a great night. Thank you for listening.